But Glad, hey, you know what? This episode is exactly what we needed. That's what we're talking about. Well, there are a lot of distractions going on, but you know what? One of the coolest events in sports this year is happening right here in Miami, just a few clicks away from where we are today. University of Miami Hurricanes host at home the Indiana Hoosiers, which is a juggernaut. I mean, they are a juggernaut, but this is unique because the University of Miami is playing in the Orange Bowl. Yeah, the Orange Bowl is where the championship game is, and that means the Hurricanes are the home team. Now, we haven't seen that since the college football playoff series has started. But I will tell you it's happened before, and I was in the mix. Yes. Let's think about how that happened. So I remember correctly, I think it was like 84, 85. I was new to the town, got family here and doing work in television, making music videos and just hustling, just trying to make my way in Miami. But I happened to be chauffeuring people back and forth and to the game. And the game was Nebraska and Miami. Well, Nebraska came in number one. Miami came in number five with not a chance to be playing for the national title. But as the season came to a close, the number two team, number three team, and number four team all either faltered, lost, or didn't look strong, while Miami got strong in the end, leaving them the opportunity to leapfrog into the championship game at the Orange Bowl, the rockin' Orange Bowl. But it was Nebraska. This team had 4 or 5 first-round draft picks, a Heisman candidate, one of the top receivers in the country. They were just on another level, and they ran an offense that was confusing to even stay with for any defense. But, yeah, it went down, and at the end of the day, the Hurricanes won. Now, Nebraska was beating people like 30, 40, 50 points. So there's lots to chew up on that piece of history, just a little trivia. But what makes this exciting is that I really like focusing on what something means to your brand, how you build your brand, how organizations, institutions, people, and professionals build their brand and make it sustainable. So when we talk about that, this game comes into play because you got two different kinds of brands. You've got the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, who have 6 titles, I believe, right now, and counting. But it's been a while, maybe 2 decades since they've gotten one, and they're trying to climb back to be the U. Okay, and then you've got a brand with the Indiana Hoosiers, who we know Indiana Hoosiers are in basketball. I mean, they kick butt basketball. It's a basketball state. Hoosiers, yeah. So, well, when you think about basketball, you think about Indianapolis 500. Yeah, that's racing, but you think about the Hoosiers or the Pacers. Let's get to the point. The Hoosiers football team rebranded themselves. They got really serious about bringing in high quality talent. They got really serious about absolutely bringing in a coach that was fearless, and they put together a massive juggernaut. This season, 2025 season going into 2026 championship, they were stomping people like with sledgehammers, okay? Beating people, huge. So the branding idea is that if you really want to rebrand, you can. But rebranding means taking what you have and building from it. And that's what they did. Whereas with Miami, it's improving on a strong brand that's already there. And I think the really cool thing about the Miami story is, well, they weren't even expected to be in the college football playoffs. Here they are. So let's look at some things that we can cheer for. This is the underdog versus the ultimate giant, the undefeated giant. Well, this is the Indiana Hoosiers. They are the undefeated giant. Okay, you're talking about a classic David and Goliath situation. 15-0. That's Indiana. Yeah. Yep. 15-0. Now I'm looking at my notes over here, and one of the things I'm looking at that's really cool is, well, what are we saying here? 15-0, looking to complete one of the most dominant seasons in college football history. That is who? The Hoosiers. Now, Miami did it before. They've been there. They've wiped out teams for full seasons, but that was a while ago. Now, here's the cool thing. Let's dig in. All right. On the other side, Miami has entered the playoffs as a very last seed. I mean, they snuck in, okay? And they have spent the last month knocking off massive giants. Yeah, well, Texas A&M was tough, but then there was Ohio State. Whoa. Then there was Ole Miss, and those boys were hitting like there was no tomorrow. That was a hell of a game. They had to work through all that. So that's the first thing we're cheering for. Let's get into the next thing. It's a home game history maker, which I mentioned earlier, okay? Look, for the first time in modern college football playoff history in this era, a team is actually playing, okay, is actually playing in their own stadium. Isn't that cool? In their own stadium. Now, Miami is technically the visiting team, okay? They're technically the visiting team. But, well, they're playing the Hard Rock Stadium. That's their home turf. So if the U crowd gets in, if the tickets are what they are, well, they'll be ready to see their team play, and it'll be rocking. Corn-fed versus the convicts. You know, I think it's unfair to call the convicts anymore. Miami used to have a bad boy image and convicts and all that stuff. You know, I remember when they played Notre Dame, it was Catholics versus the convicts. Now it's the corn-fed versus the convicts. That's a playful nod to a cultural clash between the Midwestern blue-collar Indiana, okay, and the Hoosiers, and the flashy, high-energy Canes culture, the U, the 305. It's a battle of styles, geography, and traditions that make great TV. And this is what we're going to be looking for before. I see some people, I see that going good or bad. Yes, guys, keep the glasses on or not. Hey, man, it's easy for you to say keep the glasses on or not. You're not trying to see what's in front of you in blurry eyes. Let me see you do that. I can still shoot threes, though. I can shoot through. Glasses or not, I can hit threes. All right, so Indiana's first ever run. This is the thing that makes it kind of cool, because are we seeing a one-off or are we seeing a dynasty in the making? Only time will tell. And after the fact, if you see this after the game, well, you'll know at least who won, but the dynasties and the branding will still remain. In other words, these teams are probably going to be strong for a long time. Miami's proved they could do it. I guess the big question is, after this game, well, what will happen with Indiana? All right. First ever title run for Indiana. First ever appearance on a national championship game. They're not a basketball school only anymore. Coach Signetti, this guy's been everything. So that's really big. I mean, these guys are beating people by 28.6 points per game. I think that kind of tells you that this is pretty unique. Then there's the star power. This is the fifth thing I want to mention. The star power. The talent on the field is pure elite on both sides of the ball. All right, you've got Miami, Carson Beck. Oh, yeah, he's proven he deserves to be there, and he's been in massive big games. Of course, the sensational Malachi Tony. What do they call him? Baby Jesus. The guy's got lightning speed. He's tough. He can hit. He gotten hit a lot. And so we're going to see a lot of that. And we'll be looking for more from him throughout the season. All right? I'm looking at some of your comments. Do you believe in baby Jesus? You got to. You got to. Then you've got Fernando Mendoza, a Miami native, a Cuban kid, just like Coach Cristobal, a Miami native. Both went to Columbus High. So this is really cool. I know it's been said that if Indiana were playing anyone else in this Orange Bowl in Miami, everybody in the stadium will be cheering for Indiana and Mendoza. But that's not the case. He's a homeboy, but, I mean, so are most of the teams that come in, having players from other states with home in Miami. All right, so that's what's going to be watching. You're going to see a lot of NFL quality talent after it's over. If you watch this after it's over, come on back and talk to me, guys, because I want to talk about branding. What does this mean to the brand of these organizations? Is it a brand that's sustainable, that will continue to be strong as Miami has rebranded themselves and rebuilt their program under Cristobal? Or is it a flash in the pan? Will Indiana be able to sustain its brand? And when we say brand, it's not what you say or the fancy lettering or logos or commercials. Branding is what you do, how you do it, and what are the results. All right? That's what branding is. It's what you do and how you do it. My brand is bringing you inspirational information, tying it to sports, film, culture, and making sure that you understand the brand connection. All right, guys, I am going to break, but I got to make sure I holler out my two things. My sponsor, all right, And this is my friend Roland, Goaa, Goa Skincare. Now, guys, before we break, I've been notorious for being ashy. No more. All right, I'm putting it on, letting you guys see in real time how this works for brothers like me who have ashy skin. Okay, yes, it really is. And I use some on my face too. All right, Goa.com, Gooa.com. Be sure to check it out. And last but not least, I'm looking at some of these messages here, making sure that everybody that I can see is hollering, that I get to see what you've got to say. Hey guys, thank you for staying in. Watch the game. Tell me what you think afterwards. And win, lose, or draw, being a Florida boy, I've got to do this once again in closing. All right? We needed this. Be sure to stay with me and be sure to have a great time. Be safe. Let's have a great new year. And I am celebrating win, lose, or draw the U, because I do believe the U is back. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the other side of this on the next few days. And I'm going to hit this button, and we are done.